Welcome to the Feature Anime Podcast. I'm your host, Jack. And today we are talking about From Country Bumpkin to Master Swordsman, which was a choice of Rick's. Thank you, Rick. Before that, we were just talking about life in general and how we all actually honestly feel really old now. So if you want to hear that, patreon.com/featured anime podcast, $8 a month to get you access to that bonus content. And now on to the meat and potatoes. From Country Bumpkin to Master Swordsman has producers of Square Enix, TV, Asahi, and ATX, just to name a couple of them. Studios for it are Passion and Hibiusa Film. It aired from April 2025 through June 2025, so fairly recent for us in regards to this recording. Genres are action, adventure, and fantasy. The sources are a light novel, and it's 12 episodes long. Now, From Old Country Bumpkin to Master Swordsman's about Beryl Gardenant, a humble middle-aged dojo master living a quiet life in the countryside. Convinced that he's nothing more than an average middle-aged swordman. Convinced that he is nothing more than an average swordsman. But when his former pupil, who's now the prestigious commander of the Royal Knights, arrives to whisk him away to the capital as a special instructor, Burl's peaceful days are shattered. Surrounded by his wildly successful and fiercely loyal former students, Burl now needs to navigate a bustling metropolis full of magically gifted assassins and mentor a new generation of warriors. Though all the sword play and misunderstandings happen, Beryl remains completely oblivious to his own world-class strength as he continues to prove that the true mastery only gets better with age. Yep. Sorry. That's it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Yeah, but I read, yeah, no, yeah. You're good. I know it's because I totally forgot. It's because I totally forgot. Normally I read it beforehand, but, I didn't, I spent more time making sure I got the flow right, so I wouldn't do that this time. And I did not catch all my horrible typos and misspellings and everything like that in here, which is why I kept bumbling through it. It's like, wait, that doesn't sound right. Why did I type that in there? If you ever wonder why sometimes I'm like, yeah, it's because I just somehow missed it. I had the word "the" in there 3 times for a spot for whatever reason. Through all the sport play, the misunderstandings, it was like, what the hell did I type here, bro? Yeah. Yeah. But right. But you also have to keep in mind too, for the last show, is there was a very big reason why he continued to believe that. There was only a very small set of people that countered it, but a vast majority didn't believe it or were basically telling him the opposite, right? Especially for his dream. Now, this one, it takes kind of a similar approach. It's like the guy's OP, but he's not really OP. He's He's just literally a master swordsman who just doesn't realize he is at that level. Like the guy at the very beginning, he's got a tuft of white hair. He's older and everything like that. And one thing you learn about really quickly at the very start of it is like the guy literally trains world-class swordsmen across the spectrum. Every single person that comes out of his school, every single person that graduates, they all become wildly successful in regards to swordsmanship across the board. No exceptions that we have seen. You have people that are like a black rank, platinum rank adventurers. You have like commanders of the knights and like higher up swordsmen, and you have like these people that are just like wildly successful with it. And he's just, and I understand, like, you know, the whole trope is like, oh, he's a master swordsman because he literally spent his entire life training there. He even says, I've never once beaten my father. Right? Yeah. Yep. Well, it's not even just that. It's he's not beating everyone through sheer force or just like beating them with pure strength and everything else. He's a master swordsman because he has repetition and practice and the knowledge, and he has years, decades of practicing consistently, daily, in and out. So when someone like the commander for the knights, Alucia, when she's fighting him and she fights him full strength, he only wins because she wasn't planning on him to not fight unfairly. Like she was expecting him to fight purely fairly. And he's like, you can't expect everyone to fight 100% fairly. You can't expect everyone to just be willing to do this. And because he did do that, when she encountered something that happened immediately after that, she wasn't caught off guard from it. She was able to quickly rectify it. She was prepared for something like that, something unexpected like that to counter. And that's the other thing that really kind of plays well to this anime is every time he's fighting, every time he's going up against someone, it's not that he's beating them overwhelmingly. He is narrowly beating. He is narrowly winning. He is beating them purely based on the fact that he has been doing this so long, he can see those minor details, those minor slip ups. Like, oh, I see that she's doing this. This is the only way. I have to end this now or I'm toast. He's like, I don't got the stamina for this. I ain't got the strength for this. I got to work. I got to go. I got to do this. I got to do this quick or I'm out. Right. And that's his point. He is trying really hard to not lose on purpose. He's trying to win, but he's also understanding his own limitations. And his own limitations being being older as well at the same time. He doesn't have this. He doesn't have the stamina that he used to. He's not able to react as quickly as what he would like to. He still has the reaction. He still has the movements, right? But he has the ability to be able to do that. But he doesn't have the same level of stamina as someone that's 10 years younger, 20 years younger. It's not necessarily that I'm not speaking to the physicality of it. And he doesn't speak to the physicality of it. Like the biggest thing that he has working against him is the stamina. Being able to go as long and as far as someone who's younger than him is always who's younger than you is always going to be a disadvantage, right? It's a fact of life. The older you are, the less stamina you have. And that's the thing that he's always got working against him. So whenever he's fighting against someone who's younger than him, he doesn't speak necessarily to the strength. He speaks more so to the fact that they have more stamina. He's like, I don't have the stamina for this. I can't keep going on like this. I'm going to get too tired out from this. That's what he's talking to. Okay. Goose says that he doesn't feel like he's a master swordsman. He only wins through gimmicks or faults of others. And that's how he seems to win. But that is how a swordsman would win. They would see the fault in someone else. They would see something that they're lacking in, and they would use that to their own advantage. Right. That's a part of what makes them better is they're going, oh, she's dual wielding. She hasn't quite mastered her left hand, able to use that to his advantage. So that way he wins. That's being a sword master. Seeing the fact that she has this. And one of the things is a lot of swordsmen and people real life tell you, if you're fighting with a sword or things like that, you don't want a bunch of flowy clothing and things like that, because that just means someone's going to grab it and use it to their advantage and take you down. It's not a gimmick. It is like real world mentality, bro. You could be a master swordsman, but if you're a master swordsman with loose clothing, they're going to take you down. They're going to use it to their advantage. And that's the thing that he's like trying to impart onto people. It's like, not everyone is going to be 100% honorable, fighting in this flowy clothing and things like that. That'll just see an opportunity and not take it. People are always going to take that opportunity to win. And it's like, if he was going through and he was like poisoning them beforehand, or if he was injuring them beforehand, and then he's like, all right, guys, let's fight. And then he wins the fight after he injures them. Then yeah, that'd be like, no, that's not a mess. You're a cheat. You're a horrible individual. I mean, like, that's not winning through your own skill or anything like that. That's just trash. But the fact that he's able to see the faults in others, that's what makes him a true sword master. And here's the other thing that all his other students, to really kind of lay credence to the fact that he has this, great ability for it, is that there are people out there, like some of his students have said, I've fought and dueled with all these other people. Not one of them can hold a candle to him. Not a single one can hold a single candle to him. Like I have yet to meet anyone that can even come close to his abilities, to his skill set. His sword style. His dojo, yeah. 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 It's not, see, you can have a better sword style, but if you're not the master of it, or if you're not a master of your own style, it doesn't matter. Like, you can have a superior sword style against someone who has an inferior sword style, right? And the difference would be skill level and mastery between the two. Doesn't matter if you have a superior, and I'll use air quotes, superior sword style against someone who has an inferior sword style. If they have more experience and better mastery over their own sword style, they'll win. Every sword style, every style, whether it be sword, kung fu, otherwise, there's always pros and cons to them. There's no such thing as an all around perfect. You're giving, typically you're always giving up something in sacrificing for something else. For his sword style, right, for what he does, his is meant for two-handed swords, right? So using broadsword, so to speak. And you can adapt it for however you need to. It's fairly adaptable. but the sword style that he has is at a disadvantage against someone who fights with a sword and shield. They use a short sword or a long sword, one-handed sword, and a shield, because you don't have one hand blocking and attacking with his style. You're entirely reliant on that single blade. So it puts you at a disadvantage when it comes to defense, right? Whereas if you have a sword and shield style, if you're fighting like that, it puts you at an advantage in terms of shield, but for defense, but it puts you at a disadvantage for visibility. And it lends the opportunity for you to be knocked off balance a lot easier. And, so it's like there are pros and cons to everything. And for him, he just mastered his. So that way his faults or the things that are a possible negative outcome are lessened. It's like Rurouni Kenshin, Samurai X, right? His sword style, he's like, he knows his sword style. It doesn't matter even if he blunts it, he knows it intimately and deeply to where he can do things still working to his advantage and making it so that way he can still use its disadvantages as an advantage for himself. But that we know of. That we know of. Right. Right. Well, here's the thing. The students that we're learning about, the students we're focusing on are the ones that left a larger impression, right? That went on to be successes. He did have an older student as well that wasn't there as long, but he didn't go off to be a successful swordsman. He wanted to learn the way of the sword to become a better blacksmith. And so it's not like he's world renowned or anything like that. He's just really good at what he does. And he used his training as a swordsman to help bolster it, make it so that way he can make swords better. Is he the absolute best beyond all belief when it comes to forging swords? Probably not. But it's enough for people to take notice. But arguably, there are people who didn't go through his school, that didn't go through any training, that are just as successful, if not more so. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, but right. But he's not the only one that was doing that. Others, and he's in those areas where it's a training mode. type of mentality, because quite literally for a couple of them, it is kind of a training moment for him. So he can, that way he can train it, but he also takes it with seriousness too. Because when you listen to the internal dialogue, it's like, I got to do this or I won't be able to do this. I have to make sure I do this or otherwise this. They're really strong. How can I use this to advantage? They're really strong. So taking the strength, right? Taking the black ranking adventurer who's basically the pinnacle of adventuring above platinum, right? His comments on the strength are not merely like, oh, she's really strong. It's like, she's really strong. Just like, okay, she's really strong. What can I do to end this quickly? Because I don't have the stamina to be able to withstand her barraging me with twin blades this whole time constantly. What can I do to win? Like, that's what he's doing, right? And when he takes her down, he imparts onto her. And the reason why you're having that friendly conversation of like, oh, I took advantage of this, because it's like, hey, if you're going for a full on spar in between people, because he does that focus breath even with them. So that way he can win. He can move forward. But he's imparting the knowledge of like, hey, here's how you can improve to those individuals, because he's not killing them. So that because they're not trying to kill him. That's why they duel with wooden swords. They're not trying to slash each other to hack each other to little bits. But even then, he knocks the living daylights out of people with a wooden sword. So, but again, it's when he's fighting against them, it's the people that he didn't train aren't ones that went through his training regimen, aren't ones that have this really high standard. They're not, unless they're one of his students, they're not going to have that pinnacle. And when he's fighting the one guy at the very beginning, even for one of the other students, for it, Herbits, I think is his name, Enberts, something like that. The blonde guy. Yeah. When he's fighting him, he goes, okay, he's really strong. He's got speed. What can I do to win? And he's like, okay, he's got very linear moves. It's making it so that way I can read him. He's going to do this. All right, cool. I could do this. Takes him down. And then he imparts onto the knowledge, because he didn't slash him to kill him. He slashed and stopped. Right. So the mentality of like, oh, he doesn't take it serious. No, he takes it seriously. He just acknowledges his own limitations, and the times where he's not imparting that, like, oh, I took advantage of this one thing, is when he's not killing the people. Yeah, basically. Yeah. Well, they explain that. Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yes. Okay. Basically, yeah. Yeah, no, magic is not unheard of in the world, and he can't use magic, but there are magic items. I don't, I, I can't, you can't base like, oh, all these rich people or all these higher ups and everything like that. They don't, why don't they have all this magic? It's like, bro, we don't know. The story ain't about them. We ain't focusing on them, right? Don't matter. No one cares about them. And for this, for some of the people, I would assume that it's actually not as common as what you're thinking it is. I'm assuming that it is fairly uncommon, right? It takes very special people or select individuals. That's probably why they have a very stringent test to be able to get in. Not only that, going to the back to the magic route, they have like aptitudes for it. So it's not like you can use any all magic. You're geared towards a very particular type of magic. So you have some people that are geared towards physical enhancement. You have some people that are probably geared towards other magics or things like that, but they haven't gone into the real depth in the show, right? So you may be starting off in tier 1, but you can totally learn all these other things. You like, you know, that's not a non-possibility. Also, I want to clarify, because you brought up, it's like some people can use magic and others can use miracles. That's magic. It's just they call magic for them a miracle because of their that world's religious beliefs. They believe that it is ordained by their religious figures, and that's why those people can use magic. That's what they said. That is what they said. I don't know. You know what? If this was the story of the great magic sword master, then, you know, from Country Bumpkin to Master Magic Swordsman, probably would eventually explore that possibility. But since this is not, this is from Country Bumpkin to Master Swordsman, absent on the magic, in case you didn't know, probably not gonna figure that out or know, because, you know, it's probably not a core part of the story. It's probably about a country bumpkin becoming a master swordsman. Yeah, probably. Yeah, probably a combination of the last two. And the reason why I say it's a combination of the last two is, take Vinland Saga season 1, right? Where Thorfinn was going through and he was fighting the guy. The guy wasn't winning purely because he straight up outclassed him. He wasn't winning because the guy just was that better than him. The guy was winning because he literally knew every move the guy was going to make, because he saw him fight and train and attack him all the time. So it was an easy prediction for him to make. And when you have someone that you literally have trained with your whole life, they are going to be able to go, yeah, bro, I know exactly what you're going to do. Think. Yes. Yep. Yeah. 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 Yep. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. No, I got you. Probably not. Probably not. But no, seriously. Honestly, this is a show that I feel like we could honestly go on and talk about because it's really just that well done. It's not your typical trope. It's not your average, like, oh, so and so is blah 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 blah. Super OP snorts greatness in the morning and he craps out rainbows or whatever else. It's like, no, this is like true blue. Like, he's a great guy. Here's why he's great, and everyone's like sees it by him, and for a valid reason, right? So this is definitely a nice change of pace for sure. Now, I don't have too much more to say, sir. How about you? At least now, without giving everything away. Okay. So on a scale of up to 10, sir, how would you rate this? It's no, he didn't say you're not used to it. You're, it's you don't feel it, so you can't use it properly because the sword was just way too light for her. So she was just beating it to all hell because she was wanting something that she could feel. You, if you can't, and they do explain it properly. If you can't feel what you're swinging, how do you know you're swinging it properly? Yeah, because that's that again. That was during the exact same time when they went to go see the blacksmith. The blacksmith saw that the sword was chipped, and he goes, "I can't repair this." And he asks her about it, which is why he went to the school to learn. Gave him a better idea about it, and he goes, "Well, yeah. How does it feel?" It's like, "Oh, it doesn't feel like anything. I'm just like it feels like nothing's there." And it's like, well, that's kind of the problem. How can you swing something properly? How can you use something properly if you can't even feel the weight of what you're doing? And so when they elevated her to a different blade, she's like, "Oh, I can actually feel this. I feel like I can do a lot more with it because of that." So again, they go into the details over the swords and the techniques and the ideology and the mentality behind it all too. So it's not just a simple blah blah blah. Use this because I said so. So it is. For me, I'm gonna go with an. I'm also gonna go with an 8. That's so yeah, 8 for you, 8 for me. All right. I wanna try and do something a little differently. I just want us to see how this feels, so to speak, after our scores, right? Before we go into next week's choice. All right. So since we both gave it an 8, the overall verdict on this, right? Is this like simply a pure, like, recommended? Is this like kind of like I don't know if I would mix it kind of type of thing? General skip it, obviously not. Or is this like a must watch? Like, it's an 8, but is this a must watch? Is this something you'd recommend? kind of mixed on it, or is it a skip? Yeah. Right. Okay. Yeah. So, but you'd recommend it, right? It's not a must watch, but it's a recommendation. Okay. Yeah. It's okay. All right. Fair enough. Yeah. I'm right there with you. I'd also recommend this. Without a shadow of a doubt. This is definitely that. This for me is borderline must watch, but it's only a must watch if there is a season 2, because it wets your beak, but not enough to where it's like I gotta watch it. Now if there was a second season, definitely for me at that point, especially if season 2 was a slammer, it was just massive, then for sure. But yeah, recommended. So next week, we are going to be watching Seventh Time Loop, the Seventh Time Loop, blah, 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 blah. So next week, we're going to be watching Seventh Time Loop, The Villainess Enjoys a Carefree Life Married to Her Worst Enemy, which was my choice this time, which is actually, something I just actually finished watching. I thought it was actually really well done, personally. So, yeah. And if you feel like we did too much justice and not enough justice or anything like that, feel free to contact us and let us know. All our contact information is in the show notes, as well as on our website at featuredanimepodcast.com. You can also join us on Discord and talk to us and hang out with us in there. And then, of course, on stream as well, where we stream majority of our episodes on twitch.tv/featured anime podcast. And then, of course, we have some affiliate links for you as well for Crunchyroll. Get yourself a nice free trial or get a discount off their store. Links for you are in the show notes for that. And then let's not forget about Tokyo Treats. Nice, wonderful, delicious treats every single month coming straight to you. If you use our affiliate link along with coupon code featured anime, you get $5 off that very first box. And trust me, the treats are worth it. And of course, let's not forget one of the best ways you can support us is by going to patreon.com/featured anime podcast. If you go there, $1 a month gets you access to bonus content that we usually post with every episode. And of course, don't forget about some swanky swag, shop.featuredanimepodcast.com. And until next time, I'm Jack.